Hi, I'm Josh, and this is the Nintendo DS browser. Mine just came in the mail today, so let's find out what's on the inside. Mine is a DS Lite browser, and so its GBA pack is smaller than the one for the regular DS. It also has the fun little holder, so you know which end to go into the DS Lite, and also the regular game cartridge. As you can see, it notices that I have a DS option pack in there, and click on the browser. It starts up. Mine is the Japanese version, of course, and so it's all in Japanese, so please try to read it if you can. I've bookmarked several options to show you different websites running on the browser. Now first off, they have the keyboard layout, which is very handy, and also, if you so care to, you can actually draw stuff onto this part, such as kanji or actual characters or random things. And bookmarks over here, you can make folders as you would on any computer. And let's go over here to news and see how well some different websites look. Let's try Slashdot. I've taken the liberty of editing the load times so it can actually get to the web page. I'll give you an idea of how well a certain page loads at the end. Slashdot, here it runs and looks pretty darn well as it would on the Opera browser running on any operating system. I'm using the dual screen mode, where the top screen is an enlargement of the part I selected on the bottom. Now if you want to say enter something into a field, you can click this option over here and switch the two, and then pick something, select options or enter in fields. Now if you really care to, you can use the single screen mode, which displays the entire web page amongst these two screens in a scrolling format. It actually reformats the web page to fit everything onto these two, which looks okay for the most part, but I prefer the other way. You can also zoom in if you want to different sizes, and it reformats. Let's try a different web page. You can try dig.com. And here we can see dig in the single unified screen format. And scrolling up and down is just on the scroll bar on the right, and sometimes, depending on the page, there'll be a scroll bar on the bottom. But I really don't like that mode, so we'll go back to the other mode. And now we can see dig in its actual format, the way it was intended to be viewed. And if you want to, you can go around and use the control pad to select different links or change to the other view, switching the two and clicking on a link. Here we are looking at the Gizmodo web page, which looks and runs perfectly fine on here. Although, of course, all their YouTube content that they often post does not show up because Flash is not supported in this version of the Opera browser. And it looks very, very nice. Images take a while to load, especially when scrolling up and down. But they do look nice and crisp and high res. There is an option down here to turn off images, which does help things speed up and move along when loading pages and scrolling around. although it does take all the fun out of actually surfing the internet. Here we are looking at Kotaku, gaming website with a lot of images, and it scrolls pretty well along. Scrolling down, of course, takes a while. Doesn't seem to like all the images. And here comes the old school Mario image loading up. And it does seem to be having some problems with the sidebar. And for actual functionality on the internet, here is Gmail, which works just fine. I can read, send, and do just basically anything in Gmail I care to. It works perfectly fine. I've also tried this out with .Mac and Yahoo Mail. Both work perfectly fine. Lastly, here is the Nintendo webpage, advertising the new Nintendo DS browser. Again, it looks pretty, it works fairly well. Though I found that load times are extremely slow on web pages compared to my own personal computer running off the network. Slashdot takes about a minute on the DS browser, Dig takes about a minute and a half, Gizmodo and Kotaku both take about 2 minutes, and CNN takes a whopping 3 minutes to actually load up on the DS browser. Extremely slow in many cases. But overall, it's a very functional browser that works very well. You can access email. Although I have not been able to access any sort of instant messaging service, I've tried both Meebo.com and AIM Express, both which do not support the Opera browser. So you gotta luck in that area. I'm Josh, and this has once again been a demonstration of the newly released Nintendo DS browser.